How's it going, guys? It's Sal here. Now it's been a long time. I've been out and doing things once again, but you know, we have this awesome beta to play. Now this is Destiny, for those of you that aren't aware, and I have been so excited to play this beta. It's basically the reason I got an Xbox One. Destiny and also the Halo Master Chief Collection, and I bought the Xbox pretty early because I knew that the beta was coming out and I wanted to play it. So this has been something long in coming for me, and I am pretty pumped for this. I had to whip out my thumbstick skills again. It was pretty weird to get used to, but you know, I did put in my time with Halo, so I'm kind of used to it, though it was a little weird going back to using a controller. But I will say, Destiny, man, it's just Destiny. I just don't even know what to say with words to describe how much fun I've been having with the beta. So basically, with what I'm doing with this video is I'm just gonna kind of go over what Destiny is, kind of bring you up to speed. I'm sure you've heard of the game, unless you've been living under a rock for the past a year or 2 years even. They've been promoting this game for a long time here, and I'm just gonna go over the basic main game modes and concepts of the game because it's kind of convoluted. People just say like, oh, Destiny, new shooter from Bungie, but people don't actually know exactly what the game entails. So I'm gonna quickly go over everything that you need to know about the game. Now, of course, you have your traditional story, which is just like a campaign. Most games, if not all games, aside from Titanfall, have a campaign where you just kind of go and do the story. And basically the main gist of it is that the darkness is coming, it is destroying everything, but you have this traveler that is defending humanity, but now it's dead, and now you're a guardian, and you have to defend everything. Basically, it's very good light and evil kind of thing. I don't really know too much about it. There isn't really much of the story in the beta itself, though I'm expecting we'll get a lot more in detail in the final launch of the game because Bungie, if their track record has proven that they're pretty good at telling a darn good story. Now next we have the Explorer mode, which is basically where you can go back to an area and just kind of free roam. It's not like an open world game like some people are saying it is. It's where you can go back to a space from the campaign and you can kind of explore, do quests, get loot, and that kind of thing. It's not the whole, like, you can go from one side of the world to another side of the world. It's not quite like that, though it definitely does share similarities to that because the campaign spaces are quite large, and it's not like you're gonna go through loading screen after loading screen. Now next we have something called strikes, and they are, if you've ever played an MMO, they're kind of like a dungeon or an instance, and basically what they are is they are three-man missions. I guess a mission is the best way to say it, and they take 15 to 30 minutes around there, and it's basically like a one-time thing. They're not really related to the story. They're just like a one-time go, and you kind of do it for loot and also, you know, reputation, because, you know, what's an MMO without some reputation? And essentially they are, yeah, you need 3 people, so you can do those with your friends, or you can you know, matchmake for those people, and then you can get your loot and, you know, just kill those bosses and get the money, loot, and move on. And they're basically just like a quick 30 minutes, do it, get your loot, and move on. They're not really connected to anything. They're kind of a standalone thing, and I suspect we'll have lots of those. We only had one in the beta to try out for sure, though I'm hoping that we have a very wide array of potential strikes that we can go on. Now next we have something called raids. Now a raid is basically like a harder strike, I suppose you could say, except instead of 3 people they take 6 people, and they are supposedly very hard. They are considered end game content, so you're going to be max level for these. You're going to want good gear for them, and apparently they can take hours to complete, which I am pretty pumped on because end game content in any kind of RPG is really, that's what I'm in it for. I'm there for the long haul. I'm not just going to get to max level and then quit, because apparently getting to max level is when the game really begins, and I'm into that. I don't want to just, you know, play to max level and be like, alright, I'm done, and just move on. I'm really into the grinding for gear and stuff. You know, I've put in my time with World of Warcraft, and this looks pretty sweet, and I love shooters. I love the whole RPG aspect of things, and merging the two together is pretty awesome. And now, speaking of awesome things, next we have PvP, and this is where your traditional you know, first-person shooter, like shoot other, like multiplayer comes into play, where you're actually playing against other players. It's an like arena-style shooter, very, very similar to Halo. It definitely has that Halo feel, and I absolutely love it. You have a few different game modes. You have some that are more balanced, where you can bring your own weapons and armor into the game, though the stats kind of balance out, the levels also balance out, so you don't have this big gap of stats between players and some people just wrecking everyone else, which is nice if you want to go in a traditional shooter and just kind of you know, have a level playing field and not have some people super overpowered because of their gear. Though not to worry, we also have more of a traditional MMO PvP style game where we have the gear coming into play and also the level coming into play. So if you have, you know, the best gear in the game, you can go into this game mode and you can use that to your advantage to just kind of clean house with your awesome gear that you've worked so hard to obtain. And now I think it's nice that they have both sides of the coin, where it's not like, well, I don't really want to do PvP because my gear isn't that good, that you can still jump into just the normal matchmaking and have just, you know, some good old fun with just your mediocre gear, and it's not going to be the biggest deal. Now, lastly, we have something that's not really a game mode. We have the tower itself, which is kind of your main city where you can go, you can buy, sell gear, just like hang out, you know, have a dance party, just jump around, upgrade your ship, buy a new bike. And you do have a bike, you have a little speeder, which is pretty cool. And there are actually vehicles in PvP as well. We do have some vehicles. We only had 2 in the beta, I believe the pike and more of like a tanky style thing. I'm not sure how far the game is going with vehicles, so it'll be interesting to see what we have in the final launch of the game. But overall, the core mechanics of the game have a very Halo-like feel to them, which I, as I said, absolutely love. Now, the beta itself on the Xbox One was only in 900p due to the nature of the beta. They need to have it ready beforehand, so as they were getting it ready, the update came out, which gave some more freed up some more GPU for the Xbox One, and they didn't really have time to implement that when the beta came out, though we have been assured that on launch, the Xbox One version of Destiny will be in full 1080p at 30 frames per second. So right now, I think that Destiny has really set itself up for success. What I really think the game will need, if it really wants to kind of take off and become the next major first-person shooter title, is it needs a lot of content. Not necessarily lots of maps and lots of missions, but it needs that longevity to it. We need to have this gear that we need to work hard for, because with you know, any kind of RPG, what's the point if you can just get all the best gear within a month of playing? There's not really a lot of longevity to that style of game. And I really hope that we are going to have the kind of game that we can go back and play for like years, you know, okay, so that's the kind of thing that I really enjoy. I want to pick away at a game like this for a long time and just continue to get better and better. I don't really want to ever get to the point where I have absolutely everything. Maybe eventually, of course, but when you have it, when you have that cap, when you reach that cap so quickly, it kind of ruins the game in the sense that there isn't really anything else to achieve aside from multiplayer, because there's always joy in that. And actually, the multiplayer itself, I didn't really talk about the core gameplay of it too much. It is spot on. I am so impressed with this. I would play this game for the PvP alone. It is very polished. There is the netcode is absolutely perfect, and it's just a very seamless and fun experience, and I'm really pumped that it doesn't kind of, it's not an afterthought. It's something that they've put a lot of time into, and I'm pretty pumped with the way it is working. And just overall, the beta itself is just extremely polished. I haven't found, actually no, there's one technical glitch where if you're in a party, you need to join a party with your friends first and then launch the game, but I'm sure that's something that we smoothed over on launch. But aside from that, the game ran completely fine. Everything worked like perfectly, and I was impressed. I mean, you know, I every time I think of a beta, I just think back to the days of Battlefield 4, where we know that beta was just a total disaster, and the game still is somewhat of a disaster. And that's one of the reasons I haven't actually been making videos in a while. I've just been kind of mad at Battlefield just because it's been kind of trashy lately and nothing's really going right for them at the moment. So I'm pretty pumped at an opportunity to play a new game, Destiny, from the creators of Halo 1, 2, 3, and Halo Reach, which is, you know, it's incredible. You know, Halo is so dear to me, and the fact that Bungie has turned around and made this amazing game, I am incredibly excited, and I really hope that on launch this game is everything that it is promised to be. So guys, that's basically the quick and dirty, everything you need to know about Destiny. I really hope you guys have enjoyed this video, found it informative, that's the word I'm looking for. And if you have, please do hit that like button. I always appreciate that. I really want to hear from you guys what you guys think of the game and kind of what you're looking forward to, what you think should be changed, and etc. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm really glad you took the time to watch this video. And guys, just remember, you know, stay awesome. I'll be around. I haven't been making videos all that often, but I do promise they will continue. I am not quitting YouTube in the slightest. So guys, with that, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.